Okay.
Alright, we did it. Wait, give me the dice.
You roll. What'd you get for the
18,
number?
18.
Context is going to be you are rolling for radiation mutations.
You have a table. You've pulled up a table from a role-playing game.
From 1978. It's called Gamma World.
Gamma World.
It's just like a world that's been nuked beyond bits, and there's a bunch of mutations and mutants. What's the number you got?
18.
18. That is going to be heightened balance.
You get heightened balance?
So let me read it to you real quick. It's going to allow you...
Like a cat has kind of heightened balance or something? Or you get a tail?
Beings with this mutation are able to maintain their balance in difficult circumstances. It will never fall into a pit. That's a lame one. Let me just find you a good one real quick.
Wait, let me roll again.
Okay.
I got a 45.
45. Multiple body parts. So it's not what you think. It's like...
Which body parts are multiplied? Is that also?
I think it's like a D6. Yeah, roll another one. Roll another one.
Okay. 58.
Oversized body parts. This constitutes a beneficial increase in size to a certain body part, which gives that part a corresponding increase in power.
Okay, what's a good one? You said there's some good ones.
Yeah, let me pull. I like poor respiratory system, which means that this mutant has trouble getting needed oxygen into their bloodstream, making him weaker and requiring him to rest after fighting for 5 melee turns.
That's kind of like us.
Yeah,
that's like if we were real.
And then there's like no
sense. Need to rest for a couple melee turns.
Wait, let me find double physical pain real quick. That's the best one in the game. So it's a psionic one. It's a brain one.
You double the physical pain,
but it's like a big fu to the player. It's like you don't actually take double pain. You just think you do, and it still kills you. It's so stupid. It's
right. Because would you die if you think you experienced enough pain to kill you?
I think it's like
I think so.
Where is this one called? It is I'm sorry. It's called multiple damage.
Multiple damage.
So it's not even like what is that? Oh, am I gonna get multiple damage?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, am I gonna be able to do? No, my child. You're going to. This causes the mutant involved to double or even triple referee's option any damage sustained by the mutant. This occurs not because the damage has really been inflicted, but because the mutant thinks it has. Dang. It's just stupid shit. And then you saw some of them yesterday. There's like, let me find what good one.
Reroll.
Density control.
I want density control.
Density control. Where is it? Let me go to the first one real quick. So I'll do density control. This is like yourself. I was looking at psionic. So this is a doozy. You ready?
Okay.
A mutant with this ability can change the molecular structure of his body to increase his armor class or move more rapidly.
Right.
To achieve better armor class, the mutant's body shrinks and becomes more dense.
Denser.
Shrinking raises the armor class to direct proportion to its size.
Wow.
At 1/2 size, mutant has twice as normal armor class. At 1/8 size, it is too dense to be punctured by any type of sword, spear, arrow, etc.
Whoa.
However, becoming more dense also decreases movement and reflex actions by the same amount. So that 1/8 size mutants are slowed to 1/8 normal speed. To become less dense involves a size change the other way, and the mutant becomes larger. This lowers the armor class and strength, but allows faster movement. A twice normal size mutant is it's like the basic, you know what I mean, an inverse.
Yeah. Why can't you just change your why do you have to also change your size?
It's a big fuck you to the player, you know what I mean? You gotta go up, you know what I mean? And
right. But I feel like the density would just change.
I think it's so you have to be, you like, it's just for the game mechanics.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like hide and taste. So mutants with this ability can detect poisons at a touch of their tongue and can determine whether any given substance is edible. So you have to taste it first.
With your tongue, yeah.
It's like stupid bullshit. And then like, where's another one? I'll do one more. One more. Skin structure change, defection, or defect. As the name implies, the skin of the mutant changes for the worse. Suggestions. Thin skin. Add 1 point to each die of damage sustained. Water-soluble skin. Contact with water, just 1 die of damage per melee turn. We always did insta-death.
Shit.
For I can't say it, phosphorescent skin. Mutant glows in the dark, enough to real position, not enough to be seen, not enough to see, but like to see. Light sensitive skin burns. It's just like stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
And then complete mental block. This is a good one. That's not fun. This is the inability of the mutant to see or even come near intentionally one of the following types of things. Oh, no. Robotics, plant, or animal.
Dang.
You can do everything logically in the presence, but he cannot use or touch or even be aware of the attacks of this person. So you can just like be in a den of like monsters and not see them. Oh. It's just to kind of screw you over. Yeah, you're like, because you're supposed to want to like play in radiation and get mutations, but
then those are bad.
Yeah, they're like you could just like fuck you. There's one that's like it just kills you right on the spot. It's like
you are blind now.
There's not there should be an I like write the mutations sometimes too. Yeah.
Edible.
Mm-hmm. Edible. I mean, you saw or Zane saw the list, but yeah,
pretty good. Yeah. All right, I got the Chinese fairy tale book.
What's it?
It's called Chinese Fairy Tales and Fantasies, translated and edited by Moss Roberts.
God bless.
This is the back. With the simplicity of a Chinese brushstroke, this collection of newly translated tales opens up a magical world far from our customary haunts. Ghost stories, romances, fables, and heroic sagas. The forms are familiar, but the characters we meet surprise us at every turn. For those who know and love the tales of Grimm and Andersen, the universal themes of fairy literature emerge in these classic stories with a sophistication uniquely Chinese and altogether entrancing. This is the quote from Book List. Brimming with magic and morals, these enchanting legends and myths bring to mind familiar fables, yet possess an aura that is wholly Chinese. Enlightening and enjoyable reading. And then this is the quote from the Los Angeles Times. These tales from China are richly underscored by an ancient philosophical battle, the Taoist challenge to the hierarchical rigidity of the Confucian order, which gives the stories an edge and power uniquely their own. An enthralling collection. Yeah.
I'm down with that.
Classic.
I've been reading I can't say it. Tao Te Ching.
Tao Te Ching.
Tao Te Ching.
I think you say it with a D.
Tao Te Ching.
Tao Te Ching.
But it's spelled with a T, right?
Yeah, but I think you say it with a D, TBH. But I think they don't care, though.
They're Taoists. They don't know. Fuck.
Yeah. Okay, so then there's a couple sections, and I was like, let's do the section that's called Ghosts and Souls.
Okay.
So we're just going to kind of hit through that, see how many we do. This one's called The Scholar's Concubine. So, this one's for the kids. The Scholar's Concubine.
Sounds good.
In Pao Ting, there was a scholar who had bought himself a literary degree and was now ready to buy a position as county magistrate. But no sooner had he packed his baggage to go to the capital for this purpose than he fell ill and could not get up for over a month. One day, an unexpected caller was announced, and the sick man felt such a strange shiver of anticipation that he forgot his ailment and rushed to greet his guest. His visitor was elaborately dressed and appeared to be a man of standing. He entered, making 3 salutations, and when asked where he had come from, he replied, "I am Kung Sung Sha, a retainer of the 11th Imperial Prince. I heard that you are getting your gear ready to go to try for a position as county magistrate. If such is your intention, perhaps you would find a governor's post even more attractive." Not daring to be forward, the scholar declined, though he left the subject open by adding, "My sum is small, and I cannot indulge my hopes." The visitor offered to try to obtain the position if the scholar would put up half the sum and agree to pay the remainder of the profits in office. Delighted, the scholar asked the guest to explain his scheme. "The Governor General and the Governor are my closest friends," the visitor said. "For the time being, 5,000 strings of cash should ensure their support. At the moment, there is a vacancy in Chin Ting. It would be worth making a serious bid for that post." There's a picture. I'm showing the picture. There's a guy. He has a staff. And he's wearing a hat.
It's that one guy.
It could be.
Who knows?
I don't know. It looks like Lao Tzu. I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
I don't know if it is, though. I think that's just how a lot of guys from China look, TBH.
Fuck me, man.
I think that's just the hat that the judge wears or whatever.
Fucking guy.
That's just a hat they like to wear.
Good.
The scholar protested that since the office was in his home province, accepting it would violate the dynasty's rule against a man serving in his native district. But the visitor laughed cynically and said, "Don't be so pedantic. As long as you have the cash at hand, you can get across the barriers." The scholar remained hesitant. However, for the entire scheme sounded far-fetched. Then the visitor said, "There's no need for you to have doubts. Let me tell you the whole truth. This is a vacancy in the office of the city god." Oh, wait. This is a vacancy in the office of the city god. Huh. Your mortal hours are at an end, and you have already been entered into the registry of the dead.
Chill.
But if you will utilize the means available, you may still attain high station in the world of the shades. With that, the visitor rose and bid the man goodbye. "Think it over for now. I shall meet with you again in 3 days." Then he mounted his horse and left.
Wow.
Suddenly the scholar opened his eyes from what had appeared to his attendants to be a deep sleep. He said his last farewell to his wife and sons and ordered them to bring out his hoard of cash to buy 10,000 paper ingots.
Me.
This depleted the entire county's supply. The ingots were piled up and mixed with paper figures of horses and attendants.
Huh.
Then, according to custom, they were burned day and night so that they would accrue to their owner's account in the world beyond. The final heap of ashes practically formed a mountain. So yeah, he had to go burn all his money, to get it when he died, because he needed all that money for when he died.
It's like, yeah,
those dudes came through and were like,
paper
"You're gonna need
just paper bills, yeah."
But I think they're tied on a string. I think there's a string involved of cash.
I don't know if you know this. When is this? Like, this is like.
Right. What time period is this happening?
Do you know what like?
It's just in the classical
Dynasty?
Chinese. It's before all that. I mean, okay, let's see.
Oh, it's even before all
that.
Let me
look who this guy. Each story's by a different guy. So this is Pusong Ling. Okay, so Pusong Ling, we have the info because I have the Pusong Ling book.
Pusong. I thought you were saying Pusong Wang for a second.
No, it's Pusong Ling. Pusong Ling.
Hey, it's got the best name for nowadays, dude. Why isn't it more popular?
When is he from? Introduction. Pusong Ling, the author of these extraordinary tales, was born in the summer of 1640, 4 years before the final collapse of the Ming Dynasty.
Huh, okay, yeah.
So there you go.
Wow.
If you were wondering.
I was.
Pusong Ling. But it's like, I think a lot of the tales... Pusong Ling, it's like, he says that all these people wrote him letters and gave him these stories about stuff that happened.
Him.
Yeah, it's not him.
He should just be big John.
It's kind of like X-Files, sort of. Pusong Ling is like X-Files.
He wrote it, yes.
And they're coming to him and they're like, "Hey, Pusong Ling, this is a crazy story."
The shit.
And he's like, "Thanks for sending this to me. We have such a great mail system here in China."
You know what that reminds? It's like those like podcasts or like true Reddit horror.
Right.
But it's like.
No, yeah, it's like Pusong Ling. Yeah.
God, it's like it's the Mr. Creepypasta.
But it's the late Ming. He's
Mr.
doing late Ming creepypastas, pretty much.
That's some crazy ass shit. Okay, I love that.
So yeah, we're still reading The Scholar's Concubine. Have yet to see what's up with the concubine.
Yeah, we're just motherfucking concubine.
I saw she's coming. She's gonna come in.
Ooh.
Suddenly the scholar. Oh right, no. As expected, the visitor reappeared on the third day. The scholar produced his payment, and the visitor led him to an administrative office where a high official was seated in a great hall. The scholar prostrated himself. The official merely glanced at his name, and with a warning to be honest and cautious, approved him. Next, this dignitary took a certificate, summoned the scholar to the bench, and handed it to him. The scholar kowtowed, and the thing was done. Afterwards, it occurred to the scholar that as a holder of the lowest literary degree, he lacked prestige, and that he needed the pomp and splendor of carriage and apparel to to command the respect of his subordinates. So he purchased a carriage and horses and sent an attendant ghost in a gorgeous carriage to fetch his favorite concubine. When all was ready, Chen Ting's official insignia and regalia arrived together with an entourage that stretched half a mile along the road.
That guy who speaks 7 languages has definitely told me this story, and I've totally tuned it fucking out. So
the Scholar's Concubine? You've heard the Scholar's Concubine before?
Because he's read it before. I'm trying to read. Yeah, keep going.
What do you think's going to happen with this concubine? I mean, this is kind of how all of them are. Like this is kind of how all of them are, TBH. Yeah. They all kind of involve a concubine. And they're like, and we're burning money. We have all this money, and we're burning it. Dude, we're like, fuck, you guys, total big flex.
Do you think they had podcasts back then if they could?
They just had Poussin Wings. Suddenly, the herald's announcing gong fell silent. And their banners toppled. Between panic and confusion, the scholar saw the horsemen dismount and, to a man, prostrate themselves on the road. The men shrank to the height of a foot. The horses to the size of wildcats. The scholar's driver cried out in alarm, "The divine Lord Quan has arrived!" The scholar was terrified. He climbed down from his carriage and pressed himself to the ground with the others. In the distance, he saw the general of ancient times, celebrated for his fierce justice. The divine lord was accompanied by 4 or 5 horsemen, their reins loosely in hand. With his whiskers surrounding his jaws, Lord Quan was quite unlike the world's common images of him. But his spiritual presence was overwhelming and ferocious, and his eyes were so wide set that they seemed almost to touch his ears. This Lord Quan, he's a wonderful Lord Quan. Lord Quan, he's got beautiful whiskers. He has an overwhelming and ferocious presence.
Are you reading this shit, or is that what you?
A lot of it, I just started doing the Trump voice, and then I was just kind of saying a lot of stuff again in the Trump voice.
God bless him.
God bless. The Lord Quan, divine Lord Quan.
Quan?
I think we're supposed to know Quan. You should know Quan was a ferocious general. Wait, what was it?
I already knew that. Did you though?
No, I didn't know about this
so
general.
Awkward. I already knew that.
I mean, I've read this book, but
the
Lord Quan. Yeah, what was the thing about? Oh yeah, he was the great general of ancient times, feared for his great justice. So that's probably who this is in the picture.
That's Lord Quan.
That's the divine Lord Quan. Yeah.
Of course, you gotta give him half a page, dude.
Yeah.
Look at him; he's fucking hot as shit.
So that's for sure a sword. I thought it might not be a sword.
Wait, let me look at it again.
That's him, man. That's the divine Lord Quan.
You think he got multiple damage?
Yeah, for sure.
God bless him.
He's definitely highest level.
Level 20. Have you got?
I mean, we'll see what cool moves he has.
Cool moves.
So, his eyes were so wide set. Oh yeah, his eyes were so wide set that they seemed almost to touch his ears, which is crazy. From horseback, he said, "What official is this?" "Governor of Chinting," came the reply. "For this piddling position," said Lord Quan, "is such a display really needed?" The scholar shivered, his body hairs standing on end. All at once, he watched his own body contract until he became small as a boy of 6 or 7. Lord Quan commanded him to arise and walk behind his horse. A temple stood at the roadside. Lord Quan went in, faced southward and in the direction of sovereignty. Southward in the direction of sovereignty, which we all know. We all know south is the direction of sovereignty.
Very much so.
And ordered brush and paper so that the scholar could write down his name and native place. The new governor wrote what was asked and submitted the paper. Lord Quan glanced at it and said in great anger, "These letters are miswritten and misshapen. The fellow is no more than a speculator, a shark loose in the official hierarchy. How could he govern the people?"
For real.
Lord Quan then sent for the scholar's record of personal conduct. Someone at the side kneeled and presented a statement to Lord Quan. The Divine Lord's face grew darker and fiercer than ever. Lord Quan said harshly, "This cannot be allowed. On the other hand, the crime of buying office is yet smaller than the crime of selling it." Thereupon, an arresting officer in golden armor was seen leaving with ropes and collar. Then 2 attendants took hold of the scholar, pulled off his official's cap and robes, and applied 50 strokes of the rod. When they expelled him through the gates, the flesh was practically torn from his backside. The scholar peered in all directions, but there was no sign of his horse and carriage. He could not walk for pain and lay down on the grass to rest. When he raised his head and looked around, he saw that he was not too far from home. Luckily, his body was light as a leaf, and within a day and a night, he reached his house. The truth of it all dawned on him as he awoke from the dream and lay moaning on his bed. Members of the family gathered to question him, but all the scholar told them was that his buttocks were sore. It seemed he had lost consciousness and was virtually a dead man for 7 days. Looking at the assembled household, the scholar said, "Why is my beloved Ah Lien not here?" For Ah Lien was his favorite concubine. Remember the name of the story? The scholar's concubine?
Yes.
They told him that Ah Lien had been sitting and chatting the previous night when she had suddenly said, "He has become governor of Chinting and has sent a messenger to receive me." Whereupon she went into her room, made herself up, and died.
Me.
The scholar pounded his chest in bitter remorse.
What the fuck?
Hoping that she could be revived, he ordered the corpse held and not buried. But after several days, there was no sign of life, and they put her in the tomb. The scholar's illness gradually passed, but the bruises on his backside were so severe, they took 6 months to heal. Time and again, the scholar said to himself, "The sum I had saved to purchase office is gone and wasted at that, and I have been the victim of punishment by the forces below. Still, I could endure it. But not to know where my beloved Ah Lien has been taken to is much too much to bear in the cold, quiet night." So, yeah, pretty sad.
Super sad.
Super sad. Yeah, do you want to read 3 Former Lives?
Yes. That's the ghost one more so, or these are all
We're still in the ghost section, yeah. So they're going to die or not die or think about dying, or they're going to go to hell and talk to the guy that runs hell or whatever.
They're going to do some underworld shit. There.
I don't know. It's their soul and stuff, and we'll see.
Alrighty. 3 Former Lives. The scholar Liu, who won his advanced degree the same year as my elder brother, was able to...
Wait, who wrote the story? Look at the end of the... Look at the next page.
Pu Sun Ling.
Let's go!
My homie.
Our favorite.
The scholar Liu, who won his advanced degree the same year as my elder brother, was able to recall events from his previous lives and often described them in great detail. In his first lifetime, he was a member of the nobility and as corrupt as any of them. He died at the age of 62 and was received by the king of the dead. The king treated him as a village elder, granting him a seat and offering him tea. He noted that the tea in the king's drinking cup was clear and pure, while the tea in his own was thick and sticky. This must be what I have to drink to be reborn with no memory of my past life, he thought. When the king was momentarily distracted, he threw the contents of his cup around the corner of the table and pretended that he had drunk the tea. After a while, the king looked up. Mr. Liu's record of misdeeds in life and angrily ordered a group of ghosts to remove him. The king punished him by reincarnation as a horse. And some fierce ghosts marched him off. He found himself before a house with a threshold too high for him to cross. He balked, but the ghost lashed him. In great pain, he stumbled forward. Then he was in a stable and heard a voice saying, "The black mare has given birth to a colt, a male." He
Dang,
understood.
He's a horse now.
For real, dude. And
I'd hate that.
I feel like that would... I mean, I guess from their perspective, because they're getting ridden.
Yeah, it's not a good one.
I guess, yeah, you're right. That makes sense.
I'd rather be a wild animal.
They're not wild?
Domestic.
I guess they're domesticated, yes. You're right.
In a barn.
Yeah, you'd be straight up in a fucking barn, just barning it out. Okay.
And they're like, you gotta work.
You gotta do shit now, man.
You better work.
Please work, or we'll fucking... we're
gonna hit you a lot, even if you do work.
We're gonna fucking...
Yeah, they mostly... It's bad because they hit him. I think they hit him a lot.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Probably. They're probably not nice.
Yeah, but the ghost lashed him. In great pain, he stumbled forward. Then he was in a stable and heard a voice saying, "The black mare has given birth to a colt, a male." He understood the words but could not speak. Too hungry to do anything else, he went to the mare and suckled. 4 or 5 years went by. His body grew strong and tall. He had a terrible fear of the whip and would shy whenever he saw it. The master always protected his body with a saddle pad and held the reins loosely, sparing him discomfort. But the groom and the servants rode him without a pad and dug their heels into his flesh so that the pain pierced him. Out of sheer indignation, he refused food for 3 days and died.
Badass.
It's pretty hard. When he came to the netherworld... Oh, it's like the netherworld, wow. The king of the dead verified that his term of punishment had not expired and took him to the task for evading it. The king had his hide peeled off. Oh my gosh, hide. What the fuck am I saying? Had his hide peeled off and sent him back into the world as a dog. He was too dejected to move until the horde of ghosts lashed him savagely. In severe pain, he scurried into the wilderness. Thinking he would prefer death, he jumped a precipice, fell upside down, and could not get up.
No.
When he came into consciousness, he was in a dog hole. A bitch was licking him. And
excuse me? I'm in a dog hole and there's a bitch licking me. So the other night I was in a dog hole. Bro.
I hate when I get stuck in a dog hole.
I was in this dog hole and there was this bitch licking me.
And they're loving me with care, and he realized that he would been born again into a mortal world.
Wow.
Into the mortal world. As he grew into a young dog, excrement and urine seemed fragrant to him. But he knew that they were filthy and made up his mind not to eat any. He spent
typically he'd eat a lot. If you were a dog, you'd be like,
if I was a dog, I'd be, ooh, that's a lot of poop. Give my lifetime worth of poop worth.
I don't remember that I was a horse and then a guy.
Stupid dog. You don't remember your mortality.
You drank the tea of life, bro.
Dude.
You drank the death tea from the king of hell.
Oh my god. As he grew into, excrement and urine seemed fragrant to him, but he never, He spent a year as a dog in a state of constant fury, wanting only to die. Yet he was afraid to escape this life, since the master fed him well and showed no wish to slaughter him. Showed no wish to slaughter him for food. Nice. He purposely bit him in the leg, tearing the flesh, and the master clubbed him to death. This is fucked up. You would not have a fucking retelling of this shit nowadays, and this is maybe we do. This rash deed angered the deed of the dead, and he ordered Mr. Liu whipped with hundreds of strokes. No. Then he turned him into a snake and confined him to a secluded room so dark that he could never saw the sky. Frustrated, Mr. Liu scaled a wall and escaped through a hole. He looked at himself and found that he was on his belly in the lush grass. Strange but true, a snake. He swore that he would harm no living thing, but would satisfy his hunger with fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, snakes. Did you ever think about that?
They should do that. Fruits and veggies.
Come on, get some veggies, snakes.
Dude, PETA, get the snake.
Get some veggies.
Get this fucking snake.
These snakes.
Some snakes have to eat fruits and veggies. Am I tripping?
Maybe some eat a couple, but I think they mostly like eating rats. Yeah, they mostly want to rat.
And humans.
Sure. The little one.
Little,
Small.
small, little midget. Oh, I can't say that. Can I? I don't know if that's a proper term. I'm sorry, everyone. Okay. Alrighty. Back to the dog who's getting his...
Yeah, did he beat him to death yet? Did the guy beat the dog to death
yeah,
yet?
he did.
What
He's
happened?
a snake now. I think he's.
Oh right, he's the snake, and he's kind of chill with it.
He's being chill. Wait, so fruits and
and
veggies.
he's good. Yeah, he's
For more than a year.
fruits and veggies. Of course, yeah. How could I forget that he
For more than a year, he lived in his way, pinning to kill himself, but understanding that it would be unwise. Just as it would be unwise for him to injure someone and get himself killed. He could not find a suitable way to die. One day, as he was lying in the grass, he heard a carriage coming and rushed into the road in front of it. The wheels crushed him and cut him into... This is so fucked up. This is like animal mortality fucking shit. His speedy return amazed the king of the dead.
Right, but we were all...
When am I a snake? Now or next time? Or the one before?
Last time maybe.
Ooh. His speedy return amazed the king of the dead. The snake lay prostrate and told a story. The king, because the creature had been innocent when killed, forgave him and judged that he had fulfilled his sentence and could be reborn human. And so he became the scholar Leo who begins our story. When Mr. Leo was born, he could speak. He could recite literary works, essays, and histories after only one reading. And soon, he earned his advanced degree.
Last time you only got that first one, right?
I know, yeah.
Or that was a different one. That was my guy.
Oh, but it's the same
They all seem like the same guy, yeah.
It's like
they're somehow all the same guy.
Pastas or whatever.
And they just got the English degree.
Dude, all the creepypastas sounded the same after you listened to them all.
Yeah.
He earned his advanced degree, yet he was always urging people to put a thick pad under their horse's saddle.
Oh, wow.
For a heel dug unto this flank is worse punishment for a horse than a whip. The recorder of things strange says, creatures with fur or horns include princes and lords. This is so, just as there are things furred or horned among the princes and lords.
Wow.
For the lowly do good deeds is like planting a tree to produce flowers. For the noble do good deeds is like nourishing a tree that has already blossomed. What is planted should grow larger. What is nourished should last long. Otherwise, one hauls the salt wagon and suffers the fetters as a horse, or feeds on the filth only to be cut up and cooked as a dog, or clad in scales, dies in the claws of a crane, or stork as a snake. Pusan Ling, a.k.a. Pusan Wang.
Poop Dick Wang.
I like that one. That one gave me goosebumps at the end. I like that one.
Yeah, I didn't know he would get so... I didn't know he'd lay it all out.
Like, I've killed, 4 animals. Okay, I'm gonna end it now. Okay.
We got another Pusan Wang.
God, I need them.
Okay, this is the monk from Everclear.
Everclear? Like the fucking liquor?
Yeah. Total D&D vibe.
Oh, I thought you meant like the liquor.
No, I mean, that's how it's spelled, yeah.
So it's like, he's not drinking Everclear, he's from some place called Everclear. Cool.
Right, but they're like, yeah, it's called
he's like a drunken
Mountain
monk.
Dew.
He's a drunken monk.
I don't think he is. I think that's just the name of it.
My neighbor plays a drunken monk and drinks beers, so he does it.
Dang.
We should have him over next
Drunken
time.
Monk's good, yeah.
I think he plays 3.5, so maybe different, but...
Dang, yeah, it seems like the drunken style.
I think there's one in the new one, but, yeah. I don't play that one more.
Alright, this is the monk. Maybe he'll do cool karate, but...
Hopefully he'll get some piss on Wang.
I think he's just gonna die and turn into a bug or something.
I was like, I want to kill a snake today, and then I'm gonna get some puss on a Wang, and then go to bed.
Having led a life of lofty purity, a certain monk from Everclear in Shantung province was still hale at the age of 80. But one day he fell over and did not rise. Although the monks of the temple rushed to his aid, he had already passed into the world beyond. The monk himself, unaware that he was dead, floated away with his soul intact until he reached the faraway borders of the Honan province. In Honan, at the At that moment, a young man of the upper classes was leading a team of horsemen who were using hawks to hunt for hares. His horse bolted, and the young man fell off and died. By chance, his soul encountered that of the old monk, and the two joined as one. After a while, the man gradually recovered consciousness. His servants surrounded him solicitously as he opened his eyes and asked, "How did I get here?" They helped him home, where an assembly of beautiful women greeted him with the expressions of concern. "I am a monk," he cried. "What am I doing here?" The members of the household thought he had lost his mind and earnestly tried to make him understand that he had been in an accident. The monk made no further attempt to explain himself. He simply shut his eyes and would not speak again. They fed him husked rice, which he took, but he refused both wine and meat. At night he slept alone and would not accept the services of wife or concubine. After a few days he thought of going for a short walk. Everyone was delighted. He stepped out, but when he paused for a moment, a stream of attendants approached him with financial accounts to check over. He refused to deal with these matters, claiming that he was still too weak from his illness. All he said was, "In Shantung, there is an Everclear County. Do you know of it?" The attendants replied that they did, and he said, "I feel depressed and at a loss for anything to do. It would please me to go there for a visit. Let's get ready now." His servant said that he had just recovered and was not well enough for a long trip, but he would not listen. The next day he set out. When he arrived in Everclear, the place was not as he remembered it. Without asking the way, he went directly to the monastery, and the disciples greeted their distinguished guest with deference. "Where has your old monk gone to?" he asked. They replied, "Our master has gone the way of all things." The visitor asked where the grave was, and the puzzled disciples led him to a solitary 3-foot mound not yet overgrown with wild grass. With wild grass. That's hard to say.
Wild grass.
With wild grass.
Yeah, that is hard.
Yeah. It snuck up on me.
Snuck up on me.
Soon, the young man mounted his horse for the return journey. "Your master was a monk of discipline, and the order that he established here should not be disturbed," he told them. The monks nodded continuously as he left. Back in his household, the young man's mind went dead as ash. He sat in meditation like a withered tree, refusing to attend to any family responsibilities. And after several months, he walked out of the house and disappeared. He returned to the old monastery and said to the disciples, "I am none other than your master." Thinking him demented, the monks looked at one another and laughed. But he told them the circumstances of his return to life, and when he spoke of events during the old monk's lifetime, everyone tallied. I've never really heard of that. Everyone tallied.
Like, kind of, like, collected their thoughts, or?
Everyone tallied. I think that just means everyone was like, nice, he's really the guy.
Okay.
The monks believed him and installed him in his former quarters, serving him as they always had. The young man's family discovered where he was and often sent horse and carriage to the monastery with an earnest appeal for him to come home. He paid no attention to them. After a year, his wife sent his steward to the monastery with many gifts, but he refused all the gold and silk and accepted only a single cloth robe. Friends who came to the district called on him to pay their respects and found him reticent and wise for his years. Though he was only 30, he could vividly describe the events of 8 decades. The recorder of things strange says, that's Pusong Ling, he's the recorder of things strange. When a man dies, his spirit disperses. If a spirit should travel 1,000 leagues and still remain whole, it is because that soul's nature is unalterable. It is astonishing that such a strong-minded monk should come back to life. It is more surprising that on entering a stage of magnificent luxury, he was still able to sever his tie and turn from the world. How different from those ordinary men who fall in the twinkling of an eye and stain their moral records so deeply that they'd be better off dead.
So yeah, these are very... It's kind of creepy how creepypasta these are.
Yeah, it's the same.
It's
very
much the same. I mean, it makes
Fable.
sense.
Fabulous.
Yeah. It's just interesting that we have, like, it's just...
The monk's sins. Do you want to do the monk's sins?
Yeah, let me... Actually, yeah. Can I want to... Live annotating Coke open. Ooh, this one looks sick. Okay.
Yeah, you got the guy.
All right. Yeah, I got a photo. I love like old like. I just like shitty
drawings. Yeah.
I like little shitty fantasy drawings or science fiction drawings. That's why I like his old.
I like those black and white. Yeah, just one
yeah,
color.
I don't even need color.
Black and white.
If you don't know drawing, that's better. You know.
Yeah.
Or like, you seen the Odini drawings?
Yeah, I know exactly.
It's like naked ladies. Like, who the fuck? Some horny motherfucker.
Yeah, and he's like, I got some goblins.
I got some pages. I got a half a page. I'm gonna draw a fucking naked lady.
And I got like Boris Vallejo, naked lady.
The Monk's Sins. And this is also Pus Sunglan.
Yeah.
When a man named Cheng died suddenly, an underworld officer took him down to see the kings of the dead. The king checked the records and was angry to learn that the officer had made a false arrest.
No.
He ordered the ghost to take
ACAB, even ghosts.
This is very much like that one movie. This part, at least, it probably will change, but Heaven Can Wait.
I love that movie.
Yeah. Which one are you talking about? The
70s one? Yeah,
it's one of my favorite films, yeah. Fucking rocks. The king checked the records and was angry to learn, made false arrest. He ordered the ghost to take Cheng back to the living. When Cheng was released, he persuaded the ghost to let him see the prisons of hell. The ghost led him through the 9 abysses, the hill of knives, and the sword of trees, pointing out each thing of note. Toward the end of the tour, I lost my spot. One sec. Oh my gosh, that's right. Pointing out each thing of note, toward the end of the tour, they came to a place where a monk was hanging, head down, legs bound, and laced with ropes. The monk...
With ropes?
Ropes.
Oh, ropes.
He's just being, like, tortured, I guess, or held against his will.
Yeah, dude, it's hell.
I mean, it makes sense.
Welcome to hell, bro.
Welcome to hell, it sucks, sorry. The monk howled with pain, as if it were about to die. As he drew closer, Cheng saw that it was his own elder brother.
No.
Horrified and anguished, Cheng asked the ghost what crimes the monk was suffering for. This one was a Buddhist monk, said the ghost. He was taking money from all sides to pay for women and gambling. That's why we punished him. We won't let him down till he repents. Then Cheng came back to life and began to wonder. His brother had already died. To find out, he hurried to his brother's home to the Temple of Blessings. He entered the gates and heard howls of pain.
Where do you work? I work at the Temple of
Pains.
Blessings. If you guys just go to the Temple of Blessings, look for me there.
I thought I said Temple of Pains, but that was just my head. That'd be cooler. I'll do a D&D thing, Temple of Pains.
Temple of Pain is sick.
No, pains. Not just one pain.
Sure.
Pains. Different types of pains. Different rooms for different
Right.
pains.
I mean, it could still be called Temple of Pain and still have different kinds of pains.
Rope burn. Rug burn.
House of Pains.
House of Pains. House of...
Isn't that show with... Isn't that the Medea show? House
Maybe.
of Pain?
I was thinking of Paris is Burning for... I don't even... I'm making weird connections in my head. He entered the gates and heard howls of pain. That's what I think. House of Pain. In one of the rooms, he found his brother, whose legs, covered with welts, were propped against a wall and oozing blood and pus.
Yummy.
Cheng asked his brother why he kept his legs in that position.
Hey, why do you keep your legs in that position?
For relief, replied the monk.
Bro, it's hell. You don't get it.
Otherwise, the pain goes right through me. Then Cheng told him what he had seen in the world of the dead. The monk was terrified and not only abandoned his major vices, but even forswore meat and wine.
I will forswear meat and wine.
Something like that. Dude, you didn't even like meat and wine to begin with. That's a cop
I'm
out.
forswearing it.
I'm forswearing it.
It is forsworn. Consider it forsworn.
He recited sutras. Oh my god, I've been told to recite sutras and mantras. It's so funny by Gabe. This guy with 7 languages.
Sutras?
He's like, you need to do sutras and mantras and...
Oh, sutras. Yeah.
Out of this.
Yeah, you gotta do the diamonds.
Yeah.
The diamond sutra.
Within 2 weeks, He was like, do sutras and mantras, and then you'll enter flow state. You can film properly. I'm like,
no, dude,
okay.
do the Jesus prayer. No, look up what the Jesus prayer is. Do the Jesus prayer.
Do the dance. Do the little dance.
You need to do the Jesus one.
Do you ever spin in circle as a kid?
Nice.
No, I'm serious. Did you go to the dark or go to the park in the dark and spin in a circle?
Not in the
and
park.
Then run?
No.
No.
I get what you're saying, though. Yeah.
Okay, going back to the story. With great reverence, within 2 weeks, he was well again, and therefore became a model of self-discipline. The recorder of things, Strange says. This is like some fucking Twilight Zone bullshit now.
Yeah, he's sort of a Rod Serling type, yeah.
Hell or the dungeons of the dead is a myth never verified. At least, men of vicious character justify themselves by saying that there is no punishment for our misdeeds.
He's kind of like Mythbusters.
What they felt
He's like myth. You go to hell if you're a bad monk. Confirmed.
Confirmed.
You do. But we'll never know.
Is this a real person? He's a real person.
Pusong? Yeah.
What they fail to understand is that the disasters which strike us in our own daylight world are the punishment of the unseen. This one reminds me of what my old Pastor Jack used to say, which is that hell is a state of mind.
Dang.
Time for an orange starburst.
You earned it. Oh, this one's not Pusong Ling. It's Huang Chucai. Huang Chuncai. The truth about ghosts.
Good.
Qin Sai Hing of my city was 60 years old, a gentle, genial, and humorous man. He was walking at day's end on the outskirts of the city when he saw two men carrying a fire and a lantern. He tried to light his pipe from the fire, but could not manage it. One of the men said to him, "Have you passed your first post-mortem yet? First post-mortem week yet?" Amazed, Chin replied simply, "Not yet." "That explains it," the man said. "Your sun-time spirits are not yet used up, so the shade-time fire won't give you a light." Realizing that he was speaking with the dead, Chin pretended to be one also. "The world claims that men fear ghosts. Is that true?" he asked them. "No, not all. Oh, not at all," replied one of the ghosts. "The truth is that ghosts fear men." "What is it about men that could frighten a ghost?" asked Chin. They replied, "Saliva."
For real, dude.
At once, Chin took a deep breath and spat at them. The two ghosts retreated 3 paces, glaring. They said angrily,
"Only 3?
Then you are not a ghost!" Chin laughed. "In fact, not to deceive you, I am a man who is near to a ghost. Near enough to spit on you." This he did again, and each ghost contracted to half its former size. He spat a 3rd time, and they vanished. Good. Easy way to get rid of ghosts.
Spit on them?
3 times.
That's like the...
Spit on them 3 times.
Is that it?
Yeah.
That's it?
That's the truth about ghosts. Is spit on them 3 times and it's over, bro. They're scared, bro. They're scared.
They're scared like us too, man. Don't worry.
You think you're scared? They're scared, bro. They're scared.
I'm glad. That's some fucking crazy shit. It's like, don't worry, y'all.
Spit.
If you think there's a ghost, spit on it 3 times.
Alright, I'm gonna read this one too.
Do it.
Sun Ting Po catches a ghost.
God.
And this is by Kung Pao.
Kung Pao?
Not Kung Pao. Kung Pao. K-A.
I'm glad we got some clarification because I needed it.
When Sun Ting Po of Nanyang was walking one night, he ran across a dead soul.
Oh no.
"Who are you?" he asked. "A ghost," it replied, and added, "Who are you?" "A ghost too," said Sun Ting Po to mislead it. "Where are you headed?" asked the ghost. "Yuan Market Town." "So am I." And so they proceeded. After several miles, the ghost said, "We have quite a way to go. How about taking turns carrying each other?" "Fine," answered Sung Ting Po. To begin, the ghost carried Sung Ting Po on his shoulders for several miles. "You are so heavy, good friend," the ghost commented, "that I'm wondering if you really are a ghost." I'm a new ghost, replied Sung Ting Po, so my body is still heavy. And Sung Ting Po took his turn carrying the ghost, which was practically weightless. They went on this way, exchanging places a number of times. I'm a new ghost, Sung Ting Po remarked again, so I'm not familiar with what ghosts fear and avoid.
So like he's a...
Human saliva, replied the ghost. And the two continued on their way. Soon they came to a stream that they had to cross, and Sung Ting Po asked the ghost to go first. It waded in and made no sound. But when Sung Ting Po followed, his body swished through the water, and the ghost asked, "How come you're making that racket?" It's just that as the newly dead aren't used to crossing water. Don't hold it against me. The two were approaching the destination, and it was Sung Ting Po's turn to carry the ghost. He sat it upon his shoulders and then suddenly tightened his grip. The ghost cried, "Hey! Hey!" as it struggled to get down. Sung Ting Po held fast. He marched straight into Yuan Market. There he set it down. As the ghost touched the ground, it turned into a sheep, which Sung put up for sale. Fearing it might change itself again, he spat on it. He got 1,500 coppers for the sheep and went on his way. This is a true story. A chronicle of the time says, Sung Ting Po sold a ghost for 1,500 coppers. So, what is that? What is that not true? That didn't happen?
He said it was true. It can't not be.
And he's saying that someone else said that. So
I'm being honest. I'm saying
you gotta
it's true.
pee. You gotta spit on it.
Psst, psst, psst. That was spit noise.
Yeah. Maybe this. Do you think he'll spit on them in this next one?
Wait, you know who Bree Brogan is?
No, I just got it from my first books in the mail.
The man who couldn't catch a ghost. My father heard the story from his grandfather.
So it's gotta be true.
In the city of Qing, there was a man named Chiang Sanmeng. He was bold and direct, with no subtlety to him. One day, he heard a man tell him how Sung Ting Po had caught... This is also by Shi Huan, I think.
It's the same as the last one? Same guy?
No, the last one was Kan Pao. This is Shi Huan.
But they're talking about the last one.
Yeah, this is like only a page, though.
Nice. But that's Sung Ting Po. That was the guy from the last one.
Yeah.
Okay.
One day, he heard a man tell how Sung Ting Po had caught a ghost.
Yeah, so
and how the
1,500
ghost
coppers
had turned itself into a sheep. So, like, I mean, it's referencing a story that was true. So this one has to be true.
This one's even more true.
It's super true. It's double true.
Double super true.
Because if they say it's true at the end of this one, triple true. Ting Po had caught
and this is a guy's dad told him.
Yeah.
His dad. This is a story my grandpa told my dad, and then my dad told me.
Dude, I remember.
So you know it's real, bro?
This is crazy. Caught a ghost. How the ghost had turned itself into a sheep to escape.
Right.
And how Sung Ting Po had sold it and spat on it to prevent it from changing again. Jiang Xingmang was overjoyed. Now I'm sure that ghost can be captured, he said.
Boom.
If I could get one every night
I can bust
and turn it into a sheep, then the next morning I could bring it to the butcher's and supply myself with meat.
Unlimited
and
money
drink
hack.
For the day.
Unlimited money hack.
You can't glitch that shit, dude. They're gonna patch it. Don't abuse that shit. If I could get one every night and turn it into a sheep, then the next morning I could bring it to the butcher's and supply myself with Every night, therefore, he shouldered a club and rope in one hand, crept among the graves like a hunter stalking a rabbit.
Who are you gonna call?
But he never came across. Places that everyone called haunted turned out to be barren. Shit. Though once he even pretended to be in a drunken sleep to dare the ghosts to do their worst.
I'm pretty fucked up and I'm going to sleep, so if there's any ghosts, I'm pretty fucked up.
Dude, and
you're just sleeping. And you're like, but you're not drunk. You're just pretending to be drunk.
Drunk sleeping.
You're fake drunk sleeping for the
just
ghost.
Loud sleeping, like snoring. You're just like, it's like that.
Be pretty fucked up if any ghosts came through.
Oh my god. Rushed to the spot. Wait, one evening he saw a few flares across the forest and rushed to the spot, but the lights dispersed like so many sparks before
Will-o-wisps.
he arrived. After a month of this frustration, he gave up. It would seem that the dead frightened men, simply by exploiting their fear. It seemed that the dead frightened... Chiang Sengmang was convinced that a ghost could be caught and tied up, and his fearlessness was enough to scare them off. So... yeah, he didn't catch a ghost because
you're trying. You're trying.
He's trying. Don't try too hard. You gotta go with flow. Flow state. Flow state. Flow state.
Chicks in my hay. You chicks in my hay.
So there's will-o-wisp flares in Chinese fantasy culture.
Yeah, they have will-o-wisps, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
They're in that one fucking 5e module. That for new one.
Yeah, I feel like will-o-wisps are Irish or something.
They
Somewhere
are.
where there's like a bog or
They like
Scotland.
lead you. I feel like they're for dumb new players in D&D.
They lead you somewhere.
They go to the little fairy and then
they
like,
lead you into a thing, and then you're like, oh damn, I'm in quicksand.
Yeah, or you just like a spike. You usually do a spike trap because it's like dark, and then you kind of get a little hint or whatever if you're like looking.
Okay, this one is Aitsu and the Temple Ghost, and it's attributed to Su Shi.
Wait, can you flip over?
Aitsu. Oh.
So I can just see what the words are.
Oh, Aitsu and the Temple Ghost.
Oh, it's like a name. Okay,
Aitsu.
Yeah. Cool.
And it's attributed to Su Shi. Aitsu was traveling by water, and on his way, he saw a temple. The temple was low and small, but it had a dignity that was impressive. In front of it ran a little ditch. As Aitsu watched, a man who was on foot reached the ditch, but could not get across. So the man looked into the temple, grabbed a statue of the temple god, and placed it over the ditch. Then he stepped on the statue and went on his way. Another man came, saw the statue, and sighed, "Oh, for the holy image to be treated with such disrespect." He righted the statue, rubbed it clean with his clothes, and set it reverently back in place. He bowed 3 times and went his way. Moments later, Aitsu heard a little ghost in the temple speaking to the statue. "My lord, you reside here as a god. You enjoy the offerings and the rites of the villagers."
Are you like that one dude in fucking Madagascar, the little baby lemur? What's his name?
I was trying to do like Navi.
I was thinking
Like, hey, listen.
Something more
Like
from
in
Madagascar.
Link. I don't really. I've seen Madagascar once. I don't know all of the characters' names.
I watch Madagascar every night.
There's a little baby one. There's the little baby guy. Right?
More. I watched Madagascar every night for 2 years straight until I got insomnia, and I still have insomnia.
Not Madagascar 2?
No, I didn't have Madagascar 2 on DVD. I only had Madagascar 1 DVD. What a time.
Now this brute has insulted you. Shouldn't you bring down disaster on him to teach him a lesson? If there are to be any disasters, the temple god answered, they will descend upon the second man.
That's crazy.
The first man walked on you. What greater insult is there? Said the small ghost. Yet you will not ruin him? The second man? The second man showed respect for you, my lord, and yet you want to ruin him? Why? The first man, said the temple god, no longer has faith, and I can no longer ruin him. True it is, said Aitsu, that the gods fear the wicked.
But
That's the end.
that's it?
That's the end.
Dude, these things right
The gods fear the wicked,
I'm
bro.
glad they do.
Ain't no sleep for the wicked.
Is that what that means?
I don't know. I've never really heard this thing about the gods fearing the wicked, but
No sleep till Brooklyn?
yeah.
That's what I heard.
Should I read Escaping Ghosts?
If there's a fairy sprite in it, yes. Actually, just do it, yeah.
I don't know.
They're better.
Escaping Ghosts by Lang Ying. Lang Legend has it that many spooks and apparitions have plagued passerby near High Top Bridge in Hangzhou. Once, a solitary traveler was caught by a rainstorm there. Suddenly, convinced that the traveler was a ghost, another man under an umbrella charged toward him and forced the traveler off the bridge and into the water. Then the man fled until seeing a light in the bathhouse east of the bridge. He hurried in for shelter. Afterward, the traveler arrived, also drenched. Panting, he said, "A ghost carrying an umbrella forced me into the river, and I nearly drowned." "I saw the same ghost," said the first man. Eyeing one another, the two slowly realized their mistake. On another night of storm and drizzle, a man who had no lamp was crossing the bridge when he heard the sound of clogs behind him. Turning, he saw a large head on a body some 2 feet tall. He stopped to gape. The head also stopped. When he went on, the head went on. When he ran, the head ran. Panicking, the man flew to the bathhouse and pushed open the door. But before he could close it again, the head entered. Faint from terror, the man lifted candle and saw a boy wearing a pot against the rain. Because he was afraid of ghosts, the child had followed the man for protection. So those weren't ghosts. None of those were actually ghosts. It was just them thinking other stuff was ghosts.
It happens, man. I used to be scared of
But that's how we know all the other ones are so real.
That's good.
We have this one there. It's like that was. We knew that was just a kid with a pot on his head.
That's so. These are so creepy. Like I wish, honestly, you know what I would do if I could go back in time?
Yeah.
I'd give them a little portable player with Mr. Creepypasta.
Right.
And they would fucking eat that
You'd send
shit up.
You'd send it to Pousson in the mail. He's like, "Hey guys, let me know if you get any creepy stories," and you've translated it into classical Chinese scrolls to send to him in the mail.
It's so fucking stupid. That'd be great though. I'd love it. He'd love it.
Yeah, dude, he would lose his mind, dude.
He'd be like, dude.
Alright, I'm gonna do this one, and then I got a long one for you. And it's by Pousson Ling.
Let's do it.
But this one's Test of Conviction by Kung Pao. And look at this guy. Have you seen that hat?
No, is that an army hat?
It's a new hat. I don't know.
Does he got tattoos, or is that like...
That's just his shirt.
Dude, looks like he's got a full sleeve and belly and
that's the sleeve of his shirt.
That's nice.
But so yeah, whatever his hat is, we'll know what his job is,
Is that what that means? Like
whatever your hat is what your job is.
What if you have no hat?
In China, well then you're a fucking loser.
You fucking suck.
Yeah, dude.
That's
pretty much knowing that I need to talk to. Shi Shu, an important general in Jiangxi, was a man skilled in logical reasoning. One of his students also held rational views and had always expressed the conviction that ghosts do not exist.
For real.
One day, the student had an unexpected visitor who was dressed in black clothes with white lapels. Their conversation touched on many subjects and eventually turned to ghosts, about which the student and the stranger held contrary opinions. After a day of arguing, the visitor had been bested and said, "Good sir, you are more than clever with words, but your reasoning is not perfect, for I myself am a ghost. Now how can you argue that there are none?" "Why have you come?" asked the student. "I have been assigned to take you. Your time expires tomorrow at dinner time." When the student pleaded in distress, the ghost said, "Do you know anyone who resembles you?" "Yes, in Shishu's command, there's an officer who resembles me." The ghost and the student went together to visit the officer. They sat down opposite him. Then the ghost took an iron pick about 1 foot long, set the point on top of the officer's head, and began to pound it with a hammer. "I feel some pain in my head," said the officer. Soon the pain became severe, and within an hour, the officer was dead. The end.
Just the happy ending, he dead. That's some crazy. These are like...
That's a true test of conviction.
Like, is this on like a one scroll and you just like keep it in your fucking bedroom and like read it every fucking day? Because it's your only scroll?
I think you have a lot of scrolls. I think they have so many scrolls, and then these are just the fun ones you take out when your wife's asleep.
You're like, this one's too scary for my
drinking
girl.
companions.
Oh, this one's gonna be good. Okay.
Pour one out.
Pour one out for Poussin Wing. Drinking companions. A fisherman named who's Sue?
What?
HSU.
I go shoe.
Shoe.
But, freestyle it. You're on.
Who's Sue? Sue. I'll do shoe.
I go shoe.
A fisherman
But
named...
say it in your head like you're saying the H first, Shoe.
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 Shoe. Shoe.
A fisherman named Shoe made his home outside of the north gate of Su, a township in present-day Shantung. Every night...
That's where that other guy lived.
Is that where, by the coast, southeast?
Shantung? I bet it's not. I don't know.
It's probably, not even a place
probably
anymore?
in the mountains.
Oh.
But, I don't know.
Isn't the Shantung...
I bet they changed all the names of the provinces.
Well, present-day they mixed them all up to fuck with everyone's head.
Yeah, they're like... Dude, I was gonna learn. I'm gonna learn all the Chinese provinces, and it's two of them have the same name and are right next to each other, but one's Shaanxi and the other one's Shaanxi. It's the same one somehow.
They just don't expect you to cross.
I was just
over.
Dang, I gotta learn.
That's funny.
I gotta meet someone from there so I can really get it figured out.
That's some crazy fucking specific shit. They're just yeah.
But it's also written not with our letters ever.
Oh, so you have all that, and they're different. Yeah.
It's just them. It's just us being it's kind of like a S maybe, or kind of a X. No, like a X.
It's the same
or whatever, and you're just but it's not
They'll just make it the same fucking word. But
they got more noises than us.
Oh, interesting. Every night, he took along some wine to the riverside to drink while he fished.
Oh, this one's good.
And each time he poured a little offering on the ground, so that the spirits of those who have drowned in the river may have some wine too. When other fishermen caught nothing, the Shu usually went home with the basket full. One evening, as Shu was tipping by himself, a young man approached him and paced back and forth. The Shu offered him a drink, and grandly shared his wine jar. It was a disappointing night. However, for he failed to catch a single fish, let me go downstream and drive them up for you, said the young man, who rose and departed in a manner that seemed to be airborne.
Whoa.
He returned shortly and said, a number of fish will be arriving. And indeed, Shu could hear a chorus of splashing as the approaching fish struck at insects. He took up his net and got several, each foot long.
Jesus kind of does this in the Bible.
Yeah, this is
Jesus pulls this in the Bible.
He be doing this. They be doing it, but Shu
pull
did
up your nets.
I think Shu did it first. Delighted, Shu thanked the young man and started home. Then he turned to the offer, his benefactor, some fish. But the young man declined, saying, I have enjoyed your delicious brew. For my trifling assistance, it's not worth speaking of reciprocity. I can't say reciprocity.
Reciprocity.
Yeah, that word.
Reciprocity.
Reciprocity. In fact, if you wouldn't refuse my company, I'd like to make a custom of it.
What's your read on this guy?
Is he a ghost?
It's a pretty good guess.
Is he the ghost?
Every Chinese or just Japanese ones too, they're always like, and I am a ghost. Bro, you're talking to a ghost right now. And you're like, oh, wait, but you're a guy. And they're like, no. Bro, look again. And they're like, oh.
Are you sure you're a ghost? He's like, yep. Whoa.
So, we'll see.
Mr. Ghost Man. This is Mr. Ghost. It's the ghost. Delighted, Hushu thanked the young man and started home. Oh, wait, actually, I just was about to read the whole paragraph again, sorry. I'd like to make a custom of it. We have spent only an evening together, answered Hushu. What do you mean by often enjoyed. But it would be a pleasure. This is like when they're like, it's a zombie film, and they're like, what are these things? You know what I mean? Yeah.
And they're like, you were using the habitual verb tense. I noticed you were using the habitual tense.
If you kept visiting me, though, I'm afraid I don't have anything to repay your kindness. Then he asked the young man his name. I am Wang.
The great Lord Quan.
Was the reply, but have no given name. You call me Ling Lang. Of
course.
No, it's Lu Lang.
Oh, Lu Lang.
I just had some fucked up shit. I don't know why I thought that. Sixth born. When we met, and thus they parted. Next day, Shu sold his fish and brought more wine. In the evening, the young man was already there when Shu arrived at the riverbank. So they had the pleasure of drinking together again. And again, after several rounds, the young man suddenly whisked away to drive the fish for Shu. Things went on agreeably like this for half a year when, out of the blue, Lu Lang announced to Shu, ever since I had the honor of your acquaintance, we have been closer than closest kin. But the day of parting has come. His voice was filled with sadness.
Dang.
His Shu was surprised and asked why. The young man started to speak and then stopped several times until he said at last, close as we are, the reason may shock you, but now that we are to part, there's no harm in telling you the plain truth. I'm a ghost.
I'm a ghost, bitch.
I'm a fucking ghost, motherfucker.
Alright, I'll tell you. I'm a ghost.
Just so you know, I've been hinting at it for like a year now. But
I didn't eat the food, I just drank the stuff.
You're just too fucking drunk to fucking know it. Ever since I had the honor of your acquaintance, but the day of parting has come. His voice was filled with sadness. Shu was surprised and asked why. The young man said, and spoke several times. Wait, the young man started to speak and then stopped several times until he said at last, close as we are. Oh, I'm fucking reading it again. Wait, I'm a ghost. One with a weakness for wine.
I'm a wine ghost.
A wine ghost. Shout out wine ghost. I died by drowning when I was drunk, and I have been here for several years. The reason you always caught more fish than anyone else is that I was secretly driving them towards you, and thanks for your libations. But tomorrow, my term of karma ends. And a replacement for me will be coming.
My time of karma ends.
Bye. My job's done. I'm to be reborn into another life on Earth.
I'm gonna be a cow, bro.
This evening is all that remains for us to share.
And
it is hard not to feel sad. His Shu was frightened at first, but when they had been close friends for so long that His Shu was frightened at first, but when they had been close friends for so long that his fear abated, he sighed deeply over the news, poured a drink, and said, Lu Lang, drink this up and don't despair. If our ways must part, that's the reason enough for regret. But if your karmic lot is fulfilled and your term of suffering relieved, that's cause for congratulation, not sorrow. That's cause for congratulation, not sorrow.
Exactly.
And together they share a deep swig of wine.
It's kind of like Spirited Away.
Yeah, it's like they're drinking.
He's the Kohaku River. Fuck.
Who will you replace? Asked Shu. You'll see from the riverbank. At high noon, a woman will drown as she closes the river. That will be the one. As the roosters in Hamlet called forth the dawn, the two drinkers parted, shedding tears. The next day, Shu watched expectantly from the edge of the river. A woman came carrying a baby in her arms. As she reached the river, she fell. She tossed the child to the shore, then began crying and flailing her hands and feet. She surfaced and sank several times until she pulled herself out, streaming water. Then she rested a little while, took her child in her arms, and left. When the woman was sinking, Hushu could not bear it and wished he could rush to her rescue. He held back only because he remembered that she was to replace Lu Lang. But when the woman got herself out, he began to doubt that Lu Lang had told him what Lu Lang had told him. At dusk, Hushu went fishing in the usual spot. Again his friend came and said to him, "Now we are together again, and need not speak of parting for the time being." When Hushu asked why Lu Lang replied, the woman had already taken my place, but I had pity for the children in her arms.
Whoa.
Two should not be lost for one.
He's
and
selfless.
So I spared. What I will be replaced is not known, and so it seems that the brotherhood between us shall continue. Hushu sighed with deep feeling. Such a humane heart should be seen by the highest in the heaven. And so they had the pleasure of each other's company as before. Dang. Several days later, however...
Close call on best friends.
For real.
Being best friends with this ghost.
You don't want to be best friends
And he was
with
like,
ghost.
I have to leave.
Goodbye.
And then he was like, just kidding. I actually am not leaving. We have to hang out more.
I need more drink. Several days later, however...
I'm trying to hang out and fish and drink.
That's like a fucking Yeti Dad dream.
Yeah, ultimate
Several days later, however, Lu Lang came to say goodbye again. Hushu thought he had found another replacement, but Lu Lang said, "Not my compassionate thought for the drowning woman actually reached the heaven. I have been rewarded with the position as local deity in Wu Township of Chunyon County. I assume office tomorrow. Please remember our friendship and visit me. I don't worry about the length of our difficulty of the journey."
Oh.
What a comfort to have someone as upright as you for a deity, said Hushu, offering his congratulations. But no road connects men and gods, even if the distance did not daunt me. How could I manage to go? Simply go. Don't think about it, replied the young man. After repeating the invitation, he left.
Simply go.
That's thought is the enemy of flow. Simply go. Don't think about it, replied the young man. After repeating the invitation, he left. Hushu went home to put his things in order and set out at once. Though his wife mocked him, "You're going hundreds of miles. Even if this place exists, I don't think you can hold a conversation with clay idols," she sneered. Hushu paid no attention. He started off and eventually arrived in Chuan County, where he learned that there really was a Wu Township. On his way there he stopped at his hostel and asked for direction to the temple. The host said with an air of pleasant surprises, "By any chance, is our guest's surname Hushu?" "Yes, how did you know?" The host left abruptly without making a reply. Presently, a mixed throng approached and circled Shu like a wall.
Nice.
Men carried their babies, women peeped around the doors. The crowd announced to an amazed Shu, several nights ago, we had a dream in which our deity said that a friend named Shu would be coming and that we should help him out.
We all had a dream about you.
We have been respectively awaiting you. Marveling at this reception, Shu went to sacrifice at the temple. Since we parted, he prayed, "My thoughts are dwelled on you night and day. I have come far and keep you agreement, and both favored and deeply moved by the sign you gave the local people. But I am embarrassed to have come without a fitting gift. All I brought was a flask of wine. If it is acceptable, let us drink as we used to on the riverbank." His prayer done, Shu burned paper money. Shortly he saw a wind arise behind the shrine. The smoke swirled around for a time and then disappeared. That night, Lu Ling, looking altogether different now, that he was captain garbed in finery, entered Shu's dreams, expressing his appreciation. Lu Ling said, "For you to come so far to see moves me to tears.
Wow.
But I am unable to meet you directly because I hold such a trivial position. It saddens me to be so near to the living and yet so far.
Wow.
The people here have some meager presents for you as a token of our past association. Whenever you are to return home, I shall see you off myself. Zhu in the township in a few days before preparing to leave. The people of the Wu tried to keep him longer, making earnest appeals and inviting him to day-long feasts with different hosts. But Shu was set on returning home. The people outdid themselves in generosity, and before the morning passed, his bags were filled with gifts. The gray-haired and the young gathered to see him out of the village, and the whirlwind followed him some 3 or 4 miles together. The Shu bowed again and again. Take care of yourself, Lu Ling, he said. Don't bother coming so far with your humane, and loving heart. You can't surely bring good fortune to the township. You surely bring good fortune to the township without advice from old friends. The wind swirled around for a time, and then he was gone. Then was gone. The villagers, exclaiming in order at these events, also went to the homes. When Shu arrived back in their own village, his family circumstances had improved so much that he did not return to fishing. Later, he saw people from Shuyan County who told him that the deity was working miracles and had become widely known.
Shit.
It was cool, okay. The recorder of strange things says, to attain the height of ambition without forgetting the friends one made when poor and lowly, that is what made Lu Ling a god. That is what made Wang Lu Ling a god. Nowadays, when do the high and noble in their carriages recognize those still wearing a bamboo hat?
Exactly, the hat. I told you about the hat.
Yeah.
If you have a bamboo hat, you're a loser, bro.
Damn.
You're a scrub.
You ain't
Total
shit.
scrub hat. Yeah.
That's crazy.
But yeah, it's all about the day ones. Your A1s are your day. Don't forget your day ones.
Your day one homies.
Yeah, the people you met when you were just a spirit.
Yeah,
who was drunk from drowning in the river.
For real.
Remember them when you're the town spirit.
And remember to spit on a ghost 3 times if you want him to go away.
Yeah. They just get smaller, yeah. Spitting is good. Or maybe just keep a little...
I think it's got to come from the mouth. But I actually don't know.
Any saliva? I mean, I think if you store up some saliva...
There's a There's a Bastrop, or a guy in Bastrop. He's like a Taoist, like Tai Chi master.
He'll spit on you?
I mean, he might have some good advice on ghosts, and if you could spit internally or more or less...
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's about it.
Yes, perfect.
One.
Yes.